In 1919, he hit 29 home runs and was sold to the New York Yankees.
A three-run home run for Buckington. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Bill Lee is now going over to a couple of the Yankees, and there they go again.
Hits it to deep left. That might send the Yankees to the World Series.
Varitek and A-Rod going at it. Roberts is going. Posada's throw. Roberts safe.
And what can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies.
Welcome to Fanbase Deep Dive into the greatest rivalry in sports. John Senecal, Brian Shackman here. I'm actually in my digs at Channel 3 here before the afternoon news. We wanted to get a podcast in before the Yankees-Red Sox series, obviously, and you can talk about the rivalry all you want. I mean, the Red Sox need to win 2 or 3, to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying must or the season's over. I'm just saying that I'm not particularly freaked out about the Red Sox, but if they can win this series, I'll feel a lot better. And I don't think the Yankees have a whole – I mean, listen, they're above 500. They're in first place. They played much better in the last week than they did the previous week, but you're obviously sitting in a little better shape than me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the records are the exact opposite, 13-9 and 9-13 as we speak, going into the series. You say the Yankees have been playing better, yeah, but they played the Kansas City Royals, Brian. I mean, come on. They're still not hitting other than Ben Rice and occasional Cody Bellinger, and Judge is playing better. But other than that, they got 6 other guys on the team that can't hit worth a salad bowl. So, there's still a lot of issues. Now, yes, going into the series, it looks better because the Yankees on paper are the better team. The Red Sox pitching is in rough shape right now. The Yankees pitching is in better shape. We have Heel against Conley early in game 1, and then Fried against Suarez in game 2, and then Schlittler against Bayo in game 3. And I think that Schlittler, the game 3 one is the big matchup, right? The Red Sox aren't going to be pitching Crochet in this series, but the Schlittler one is the big one because last time Schlittler pitched against the Red Sox was in the playoffs, and it was the huge matchups where he had 12 Ks, and he had that famous tweet afterwards that said drinking that dirty water, which I guess touched off a nerve in Boston, and now he's getting death threats apparently leading up to his start on Thursday. Yeah,
there's no way he is.
It's what he says. I mean, why would he say that, Brian? He's not saying specifically, but I mean, I'm sure there's definitely idiots out there that will be pissed off about anything. And yes, I mean, why would he come out and say that if he wasn't getting them?
It just seems so bizarre over that. But I mean, I don't know. There's enough people in the world for someone to be that stupid and crazy, I guess. For me, and Sonny Gray, it just came out this afternoon. He's going on the 15-day IL with his hammy. He wasn't due to pitch anyway, but you hit the number one thing. Like at 9-13, I'm actually not freaked. They're 2 good series away from being 500, and as long as I always think of Moneyball. It just have to be 7 games out by July, whatever. Like they don't have to be in first place right now to be competitive. They just can't fall too far behind. So if they can get to 500, honestly, by mid-May, I'm fine. I'm fine. The problem is the pitching. Garrett Crochet has, and again, it's not personal because I don't dislike the guy. He's been awful, and you can't have your ace because they don't even have a really good. Sonny Gray's not even a legit number 2, and Bayo hasn't pitched like a number 2 necessarily, and so they don't have a number 2. They have a bunch of 4s or 3s, and so for Crochet to have an ERA over 7, they're not gonna go anywhere unless he figures it out. Now I don't know. I touched on this before, I think a little bit. I wonder if he's tipping or something, if there's something going on where people just have him figured out, because he's never had this is a pretty unprecedented stretch for him. And I don't really understand, unless he's hurt, then we'll find out later. I don't really understand it.
I don't think his velocity is down, Brian. So usually that's the first inclination that somebody's hurt, right? The velocity drops. It could just be that, this is his 3rd full season or 2nd full season as an actual starter. Because I mean, when he came over from the White Sox, he was, they used him in that.
3rd full season. He had 1 full season with the White Sox before, right?
That they used him very sparingly, though. They used him very sparingly. They had him on the Paul Skeens regiment where he wasn't, going to be pitching a lot. So maybe it's something where he's just finally getting the sample size. I doubt it. I think a lot of it could just be something. There has been talk about him and Andrew Bailey having some friction. That they're not on the same page. But Andrew Bailey was there last year, so I don't believe that. I think they're just searching for answers right now as to what might be wrong. And it could be, maybe he is hurt, Brian, but I think it just might just be the team's not playing well, and he might just be off a little bit mechanically, that he just has to figure it out. I think your biggest concern, Brian, is you're not hitting the ball out of the ballpark. You guys rank basically dead last in home runs, and you're just not getting any pop out of that lineup, i.e. Roman Anthony. Where is Roman Anthony? Where is Trevor Story? It's time for these guys to wake up. And I'm not going to say losing Devers is any big deal, because the Giants are dead last in pop. They have nothing in home runs. So Roman Anthony needs to step up. That's what he needs to do. You need to get more pop in that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not going to play a broken record. They're not deep enough, and they just don't have an alpha power bat, and they expect it out of Roman Anthony, and I think he'll figure it out. But I don't have a lot of faith in their offense. I mean, a guy like Abreu, I love. And after that, I'm just not so sure. Again, they got to get to 500 by basically 1 month. If they can win 2 or 3, I mean, I think Schlittler, when I see him pitch against the Red Sox, I feel like he looks like the best pitcher in baseball. I mean, there's some times that he looks so flicking good. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Well, he ranks in the top in every offensive category for pitching in Major League Baseball right now. Strikeouts, ERA. I mean, he's up in the top 3 or 4 in all categories. So he's a bona fide ace right now.
Yeah, and he's not. I mean, and when what's his name comes back, I mean, Schlittler do you slot him as your 2 or your 3? What is he?
Well, I think once Garrett Cole comes back, I mean, I don't think Cole jumps right into your number 1 starter. I mean, he's obviously your ace. I'll put it in quotation marks, but coming back from Tommy John, he's not going to be thought of as the workhorse. So I still think Max Fried's number 1. And I think, technically I would say Fried 1, Schlittler 2, but it's probably going to be more like Fried, Cole. I just think it's going to be how it lines up pitching wise. But I would say, your main guy is Max Fried. Schlittler will be there. Don't worry. The Yankees stick with him. He's going to be your ace. He's got that stuff.
I do want to point out, I don't think we mentioned it on the podcast, but you and Matt Soroy's, our producer, and myself, I mean, this Mike Trout thing, I actually think that, his performance in Yankee Stadium, it got a lot of attention. And if the Angels are out of it, he might want out. And I think that the way he seems to talk about New York and everything, you guys started as a joke, but now I actually don't think it's a joke. He could be the missing piece.
Honestly, Brian, I think you're 100% right. I mean, because the team sucks, right? I mean, the Angels aren't going to be that great. I mean, you can say what you want now. Soriano's pitching great. They just don't have it. They don't have the goods. So it would be interesting to see Trout as a Yankee. Give up?
That's the question. What would you? Because you have to. I always say to my friend, I have a friend who's really wealthy, and we go to his house, and he makes us a drink. And I say to him, I want you to open a nice bottle. He's like, how nice? And I said, I want you to open up a bottle that's so good that it hurts you to open it.
That's what you're going to have to get. You're going to have to get that for Mike Trout, right? He's 34 years old. That's the crazy thing about Mike Trout. This is his 16th season in Major League Baseball, and he's 34 years old. This guy's a year older than Aaron Judge, right? And he talked about that he's been around forever, and he came into the league in 2011, I believe, or 12.
Right.
So he's doing his thing. I could see the Yankees going for something like that. I could see the Angels doing something like that, but the price is going to be high. They're going to have to give up at Jason Dominguez. You're going to have to give one of your frontline minor leaguers, either Elmer Rodriguez or Carson LaGrange. That's your 2 big pitchers in the minors, and that's what they're going to be asking for. And history says the Yankees won't give those guys up. They just haven't done it. And if Mike Trout is still playing remotely like he is now, and Trent Grisham is doing what he does now, I don't see any reason why you couldn't slot him in center field for the New York Yankees come August. And he would pick up that right-handed bat, balance out that lineup. Now, it's a long ways away, Brian, but, what started as a joke makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because his time is dwindling in California. He's still making like $40 million a year from that contract that he signed ages ago. He'd be a great draw in New York. People would come to see Mike Trout. I mean, they would. Not as much as they would come see Aaron Judge, but they would come see Mike Trout.
And but obviously he's got to stay healthy, and they got to want to make the move. But I
Now, the only other problem, Brian, is what do you do about DH? Because you have a couple more years on his contract. I believe he has like 3 more years after this year on his contract.
Yeah, but Stanton's going to be gone. I mean,
Stanton's gone after next season, so you're still. We can't get into this Stanton thing. It's driving me nuts. It's just it's a roadblock. The rest of the Yankees are hitting like crap. Jazz, Grisham, Wells, McMahon, they're all garbage, right? They have to figure that out. You're not going to win. So maybe Anthony Volpe coming back is the answer, and you put him at short, and you slot Caballero and Rosario into third base. Again, right-handed bats, mix up that left-handed, right-handed combo. I don't know. Something has to happen, and it has to happen quick, because you're not going to keep winning with Aaron Judge hitting close as he works his way to 300, and Ben Rice is the best player in baseball right now offensively, and Cody Bellinger. Those are the only 3 that are doing anything.
The thing is that Ben Rice can go a month without getting a hit. You know, it's just, he could, he's very, very hot and cold. So who knows how long he'll stay hot. John Senegal, Brian Shackman, episode 236 of Fan Base, a deep dive in the greatest rivalry in sports. I got to go get ready for the news. So I just make predictions on this week.
I think the Yankees are going to take all 3 from them. I just don't think the Red Sox are that good. I just don't think. I think there's too much rumblings about what's wrong with the team, and they're not winning. Now, if there's rumblings about what's wrong with the team and you are winning, it's fine. But I just see they're in a tough spot right now. Not as tough as the Mets, Brian. We got to really talk real quick about the Mets. 11 straight losses. They call it the curse of the Mambino. That's what they're calling it, the New York Post, because Zohar Mamdani hugged Mr. Met, and it's been all downhill ever since.
That satirical site that's the conservative version of The Onion, the whatever B, it said, Mamdani asking MLB teams to redistribute runs equally to the Mets while they're in New York.
They might be the only team that's actually the worst team in baseball. I mean, they're in the bottom of almost every category, pitching and hitting wise. And Soto's been out. He comes back. I believe he's coming back, not today, but tomorrow, which would be Wednesday. I believe he comes back because it's too cold today for him to come back from that calf muscle. But
I'm not I'm not anti the Yankees. I thought they treated Pete Alonso horribly, so that whatever they get, they deserve. I just think they should have signed him to a 6-year, $200 million deal 3 years ago. And turns out he's also a pretty good clubhouse guy, and they screwed that up. And all the talent in the world right now is going to fix it. Now, do I think that they're the worst team in baseball? I don't. But if they don't get on a little bit of a heater, they're obviously in worse shape than the Red Sox. And, you lose 11, 12, 13 in a row, your season's over.
Yeah, they're 8.5 games out right now, Brian, in the NL East, which is not a good thing. 23rd in runs, 27th in home runs, 30th in runs scored. 23rd in batting average, 21st in team hits. Now nobody's hitting anywhere. Bichette's striking out at astronomical levels. And if Soto does come back, he has absolutely no production. So what are you going to do? You can just walk him 3 times in a game. The Mets dismantled their team, and they're reaping what they sowed. You get rid of your longest tenured player, Brandon Nimmo. You get rid of your fan favorite power bat, Alonso. You got the coaching staff other than your main manager. And it's like, what do you expect? Yeah. You got a Mr. Me who could have stayed in New York and been living large and batting behind Aaron Judge or in front of Aaron Judge. But what does he want? He wants to be the man. Yeah. Now he's got to sit with that. So I hate to say it, but the Mets, they got a lot of issues. And it's going to be a very tough hole to climb out of, especially in New York, man. Especially in New York.
Yeah, the Boo Birds are going to be out for sure. And, not a lot of people feel bad for Steve Cohen. I don't have a problem with him. I like it when the Mets are good. But again, Alonso is one of my favorite guys. I wanted the Red Sox to get him. So, I think that it's just weird how karma can bite you in the ass. And I think that's a little bit of what's happening.
Imagine spending that much money on something that is just absolutely garbage right now. Yeah. Just sitting there and just having to, it just goes to show you how much money the dude's got. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's stunning. Listen, I got to run. Great job. I think the Sox will win at least one, but we'll see.
Which one?
I think they'll win the second one.
Second one? Fried against Suarez. Lefty against lefty.
Fried scares me, but I just think that Schlittler, he literally could go out there and pitch 8 and nobody touches.
Well, I'm gonna go out and say if the Sox win any of them, it's gonna be the first one, because you never know what you're getting with Dr. and Jekyll Hyde and Mr. Heel. You never know.
He's John Senecal and Brian Shackman. You've been listening to Fan Base, a deep dive into the greatest rivalry in sports.